Recording started. Okay, so let's try to do. We'll see how much time it is taking, right? What is the first command for Terraform?
Init.
Correct. What init will do?
Hello Vikas, can we write TER over the Terraform?
I have not seen if they have reduced it, but I guess if it is there, maybe you can search and see. Okay,
Okay.
if you take, you can see TAR is not recognized. Okay, so that's fine. I have not got answer. What installation will do? What Terraform INIT will do? It will install providers plugin, right? Okay, Terraform plan. What Terraform plan will do? Not getting any answer from anyone. So Terraform plan basically will check the current state file, right? And it will give you an overview details like what all resources will be added or changed or deleted, right? That's what plan will say, correct? So let's go to Terraform show. What Terraform show will do? Terraform show will give you the details of what all resources has been created, correct? So let's go to Terraform in a different manner. Like Terraform state list, we will see what all resources is already deployed there, correct? Can we do that? Terraform state list. So you can see there is a resource group which is already created, but here is a problem. Again, it is saying this resource group will get created, right? But state list says there is already a resource group there present. Let's see what is the conflict. Correct? Terraform. What is the command to create resources on Azure? Terraform apply. Correct? It's happening. Okay, it is asking our permission. Do you want to create? I will. We have to say yes. Okay. Apply cancelled. Why apply cancelled? Did we took more time? So you can see two resources has been created. Can we see those resources in Azure? Again, this is the repetition of my first class, right? Like our first class where we have seen this all created, correct? A resource group, we just created, so it's not showing here. Go to home, go to subscription, select page you go, apply, and go to resource group. Yes, it is not showing. That's fine. We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes for this. Again, I can see most of you have not gone through this first day video properly, but yeah, please, I will request to go through this. Okay. Well, there were some basic questions: what initialization will do, what plan will do, and then how to apply, how to check state file, right? What all resources is already created using Terraform. So as I said, let me take a whiteboard here. So if you remember, let's say this is my Azure, okay, and we have seen there are multiple way to create resources on Azure, right? We have seen there is one method called CLI, there is another method called, there is another method called PowerShell, right? And then right now we are learning about Terraform, correct? So we have to think about it, like why Terraform is this much popular, why people are thinking about it, why there is too much demand of Terraform, right? You have to think about it. We have already discussed, but yes, let's go through it once again, correct? Then you have ARM template, right? So can we add something here? Text. Okay, so let's say this is our ARM template. Okay, then let's say this is our CLI. Then this is our PowerShell, and then this is our Terraform. What is the difference between all three? So all four, right? You can deploy resources using ARM template also. You can deploy resources using this ARM, CLI, or PowerShell, or even Terraform, right? So what's the difference Terraform makes? I think if you have gone through till now, you will able to answer, right? Have you seen in CLI we have any options where I can check like what all resources I have deployed currently? No, right? So there is no active connection. Okay, there is no active connection. Okay, very bad. Okay, let me erase them. There is no active connection between all three. Okay, let me get a bigger. If I talk about all these three, no active connection between Azure resources deployed and these CLIs, right? But in case of Terraform, this is completely different, right? We have a state file where I can check what all resources is deployed. So that is the most important benefit we have in Terraform. So basically, Terraform manages a state file, right, which has details about the configuration and resources, right? So next time if you are deploying anything new, Terraform will identify, okay, this resource is already there and there is a new resource which has been added, which has to be added. That's what plan will give us, right? It will check the state file, what all resources has been already deployed, what is the current configuration, and based on update of our script, it will suggest us the next changes. Okay, that is the most important benefit of Terraform. That's what we call it. It manages one active connection between what all resources deployed and what we are going to deploy with the help of a state file. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, Vikas.
Okay, so hopefully by now we can see these resource groups. I've already given enough time. Let's refresh it. What is happening? Okay, what is the name of resource group we have given there? Sorry, I forgot that. Okay, Azure Terraform test only we have given. That's why. Yeah, sorry. It's already there. Azure RM, like Azure Terraform test. This has been created already. And inside that there is a VNet which is created, right? So why we have created this again? To check the Terraform list, right? So before only we have checked the Terraform list once again. We wanted to check the list if there is any change, right? Let's see what was the output of first Terraform list. So you can see Terraform state list, it was just showing a resource group earlier, correct? Now it should show us virtual network also, right? Terraform state list. So now you can see there are two resources, VNet and a resource group. Is it clear till now?
Yes, Vikas.
Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, and go to some more. That's what here it is. Same screenshot you can see here. They are also showing, right, Terraform state list, a resource group, and a virtual network. Correct. Let's learn something new. Okay. Then we have destroyed last day also we have checked, right? Destroy, or destroy will do, it will destroy all the resources. Okay. So never run destroy in your office. You can do it in your test environment. Okay. So you can say Terraform destroy command terminates all resources managed by Terraform project, right? So whatever resources are managed in your state file, it will delete all of them. Okay. So this is basically you can say inverse of apply, right? Okay, so like if you don't need infrastructure, you can destroy them. Okay. Okay, so let me go through next. We have seen that this prefix is like for destroy, then plus sign is for create, and there is a seesaw sign that is for changes, right? We'll learn how to make some changes, okay, or we'll learn how to uh, add some variable, okay. So you can see in current uh, our Terraform file, we have one main file, right? So this doesn't look good. Like in companies, it's not like they will be creating a resource group and a virtual network, okay. There will be 100 and 200 of resources they will be creating, okay. So they cannot maintain, like they cannot go line by line to each and every code, and they cannot update your name everywhere, right? So there is different way to maintain, right? You can define these names in a variable. So how to define and how to call it, you will remember, right? How to call a resource group name, right? From a resource group block and create a dependency. So we have, if you see this one line 27, resource group name we have not defined, right? We have called it from resource group block. So you can see resource Azure RM resource group, then the name which we have given, and then which parameter we wanted to get, name. Let's say we wanted to get the location for this. Can people help me to get location? Anyone can try? I don't want to mention here directly east US or west US. I wanted to get it from resource group. How I can get? Okay, the same way, like I wanted to get it from where? I wanted to get it from resource group. So what I have to give? I have to give the first line, okay? Resource group block name. Then I have to give the name of that block, okay? And then I have to give, okay, before we have asked for name, each time what we wanted to give? We wanted to take location, right? So let's copy this and paste here. Sorry, not wish to yes. Copy this location part, okay, and paste it. Okay. So you can see location here. It was defined here, like explicitly. It was given west US, but I don't wanted to give this name again. I wanted to get it from resource group. So what is the way? This is the way. Okay. Azure RM resource group, then resource group name, then location. Okay. Let's say, is it clear now how to call from a different block if you wanted to create dependency or if you wanted to call something?
Yes, Vikas.
It's
Yes,
clear, right?
Vikas.
Then I would like to ask one question here. Okay, let's say we are creating a virtual machine. Okay, simply. So again, okay, let me get the block of virtual machine. Okay, even I don't remember everything, so I will also go and copy from Google itself. So that's the normal thing we do. Um, but I will search Terraform Azure virtual machine example kind of, correct. Please follow the official documentation of registry.terraform.io or Microsoft document, okay? Nothing else. Sometimes you can follow Medium also, but that's fine. You can see there is a block for which we want virtual machine, right? So here is block for virtual machine, correct? So this is little bit complex. Let's go to a normal. Okay, we don't want a complex now. Okay. Okay. So this is a virtual machine block. Okay, we will not create it now, but yes, we wanted to learn how to Okay. So till virtual network we have created. Now I wanted to create virtual machine, right? So resource group name, how we will call here? Like Azure RM resource group, then resource group name, right? Like this. Okay, it's not copy, like this. Copy. Okay. Then location you can see. Okay. Change this to correct. Okay. Try to write it initially. Okay. So network interface, or you can say how to call. Let's say this is a virtual network. If you wanted to define, okay, how will you able to call virtual network? Okay, can anyone guide me to write for virtual network? What you have to do? We have to.
Uh,
Let's go ahead. If we are calling virtual network, like for virtual machine, we need a virtual network, right? So first we have to give the block name, right? Azure RM virtual network. Then name of the block.
After
What
that,
is the name? Hmm.
after that, we have to enter the resource group name or where it
Not.
is created.
I guess you are getting a little bit confused. So yes, for resource group we have already called. Right now we are making a dependency
Creating
for
a group.
virtual network. So which block we have to call? We have to call virtual network block here. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what Azure RM virtual network dot name vnet. Now what I wanted to get, I want to get name. So I will say name. Okay. So this will automatically get the name of virtual network from this block. And also at the same time, it is creating a dependency, right? That virtual network has to be created first before creating this virtual machine. Even resource group has to be created first before creating this resource. Okay. So this is how you can like create a
Because
dependency.
we have to first create a resource group name. After that, we can create a virtual network. Is it right?
So resource group you can create first. Yes, resource group is required, but you can also use a resource group which is already there. Okay, if you wanted to use that, you can do that also. But here, like
Okay.
we are trying to create some dependencies, or if say let resource group is already you are creating using same Terraform file, then how you can use that resource group name multiple times, right? So if I'm, let's say I'm not calling this resource group name here, then what I have to do? I have to define this Azure Terraform test everywhere resource group is coming, correct? And again, tomorrow if I wanted to create something new, again I have to go everywhere and like change it. But if I'm just creating a dependency or if I'm calling it from this way, I have to update where I have to just update in one place. That is here, correct? Rest all it will
It is
automatically update.
it basically used to reduce the redundancy.
Hmm.
Hmm?
Okay.
Is it right?
It's not redundancy. It's like
As you write the code over the over you creating the resources, you have mentioned the all the name of the resource. You
yes,
uses the all the name of resources after the all the block which you
yes,
created.
creating dependency. Okay, creating dependency and calling name from other resource block. Okay, so
Okay.
hope you all will able to at least call the name and create a dependency like this. Okay, please practice. Once you do, you will able to understand. Okay,
Uh, yeah, because it is like same, right? Where we in PowerShell we are defining variables.
that's correct.
The
Yes,
same way here we need to define the same, right? The
yes. So
dependencies before calling in the Terraform. That's it, right?
yes, yes, yes. So it's dependency. We are also coming to the variable. Next part is that also. So we have different way to create a variable names also here. Okay, and defining variables. So that will be
Okay.
the next level of automation. Here also no need to give name here. We'll define this name somewhere else, and then we'll learn that also. Okay. So yes, it's
Uh,
kind of
that
creating. Hmm.
Like this calling block also same thing, right?
Yes, kind of same thing, correct. It's kind of same thing. You are calling this block and then you are calling this name, so it's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to our Terraform. So now you can see next tutorial is to define a variable. Okay, right now we are calling from existing block. Let's say I wanted to define a variable explicitly. I don't want to call it from any block. Okay, or let's say in this block, this Azure Terraform test, I don't want to define it directly here. I wanted to define it in a variable. I don't want anyone to touch this file. This is my like main file where I want like no one can come here and touch it kind of, right? Or no one can modify this file. What they can do, we can like define a variables, right? So let's learn how to define a variable in Terraform. Okay. So first of all, in Terraform, we'll maintain a separate file for variable, okay, which we call as variable.tf. Okay. So and here we will define all the variables. Okay. So let's say resource group only we'll take, we'll copy and we'll paste it here. Okay. So now I have defined a variable. I have to call this variable. How to call this variable? So this is the way of defining. You have to give variable, then you have to give the name. Okay, you can give any name here. Okay, it's not like you have to give the resource group. You can give any name which is good for you. Same in case of like if you remember in PowerShell we are giving dollar and then ABC and then we are assigning some value to it, right? Like say XYZ, right? So it's up to you, right? What name you have to give. You wanted to give here. Same way in case of Terraform also, while defining any variable, you can give any name. Okay, this name can be anything. Okay? So like resource group name, it's much easier for us to understand. Okay, this is a resource group name. Okay, and let's say variable, and let's say this is for virtual network, Azure RM virtual network. You can say like that. Then you can even give some comments here. Okay, let's try to get some comments. Okay. Uh, Let me get it. So run Terraform module. GitHub. Yeah. Let's go to some variable files. So you can see how you can define the type of variables. Okay, that's why I wanted to copy this. Okay, so this is just simple definition. But if you wanted to give some more details, like even in case of programming language, also you will define right what is type of this variable, right? So there are different types of it. Okay, so string, boolean, number, true, false, and all of those things, right? Then you can give a description. Okay, so description will be just a kind of comment, right? The Azure region to deploy where you wanted to deploy the resource group, right? So this description we can add here also, right? If I say here, let's go there and say description, right? Then I can give the value, right? Provide resource group name, resource group name, kind of. Then I can say type. What is the type of this variable? Let's say string only. That's fine. So these two things are optional, okay? But if you want to define a value, then default has to be filled out. Okay, so let's say for vnet I am saying this is vnet 1. Okay, let me save this variable file. I have saved this. Okay, now again I wanted to see Terraform plan. Do you think any changes will be there if I'm doing Terraform plan? Right now I've defined two variable and I am just running Terraform plan. Can anyone guess if there will be any changes?
No, because I don't think it will make changes.
It is saying there are some changes. Have we changed anything in main file? Anyone remember? No, right? No, it is asking that it will change something. And what is the exact change? ID name tag. 7 unchanged attributes hidden. Problem is there. Yeah. Should give 0 to add, 0 to destroy, 0 to change. Okay, unless you have made any configuration changes or ignored, your configuration already matches the changes. Okay, so okay, it's there is no changes. You can see it's already given no changes. Okay, so that's okay. Let's but we have added a variable file here and still there is no changes, right? Then how to use these variables? Okay, I wanted to use this variable in my resource group. How to call this? To call a value from variable, we have to give like, okay, here we have given name directly, right? So just change this and you have to type where, okay, then dot, and then give the variable name. Okay, so what is the variable name in our case? So just say where dot, and what is the name of variable? This is resource group name, right? I have installed some extension, that's why it is giving me options there. You can also do that, but the way of doing is like where dot the name of that variable. Okay, so now this will get name from variable. So where is for variable, and then which variable I wanted to call. Okay, same way for location, what it will be, can anyone guide me? Let's say I have said where, then what is the name of variable for location there? Location itself, right? So let's copy it and then paste it where dot location. Okay, now I have changed the name of resource group. So it should destroy the old resource group and it should create a new resource group name, my TF resource group. Everyone agreeing that?
Yes, Vikas.
Right. Same way for VNet also, it should destroy VNet, right? Or it should fail to destroy both of them. Like there is a dependency, right? Let's say what is happening. But yet it should destroy both the resources and it should create new resources, right? So let's say Terraform plan. Okay, we have not saved this file. Make sure you are saving it. If you are not saving it, it will not take the like changes. Okay, let's do a Terraform plan and we'll see what we'll get. So again, if your Terraform is destroying, it will follow the dependency. So it will first deploy the child resources, then it will okay. Name we have given something wrong, right? Okay, yes, location. Sorry. Let's create in the same location waste US. Okay, so waste US. So you can see if you have defined the location wrong, it is giving us a error message, right? So we have defined it in variable and main we have called it, but still it is saying, okay, we have defined the name of location, which is wrong. Okay, so definitely VNet is not location for Azure, right? So again, once you have made the changes, please save it, then again run the plan. Initialization is required only once in one session. So if you are having one terminal open, it is just required for only once. Okay. So yes, you can see what it is doing. It will add two and it will destroy two, right? So let me go to portal. Let me go to subscription. You can see right now Azure test hyphen test. This was the resource group which we have created just some time back, right? But right now we have changed the name. So even changing the name, what it will do, Terraform will think, okay, the old resource has to be deleted. That's why I have changed the name. So if you want to create a new resource group, you have to copy complete block and paste it once again. Okay. If you are changing the name, it will like destroy old resource group and create a new resource group. So don't make that mistake. Okay. If you wanted to create one more resource group and keep that there itself, you have to do like this. Okay. What was the name earlier? The name was like this, right? Mm. Let me get the resource group name there. Portal. Let's say I wanted to create a new one. I don't want it to delete the existing one. So that's why I'm defining the name here again. So if you're changing name in the same block, it will destroy old and it will create a new. So let's say resource group one. Okay. So if you're adding two block for resource group, this name has to be different. Okay. You cannot keep same name for all the block. So this is the name of block. Okay. This is complete block and this is the name of block which you are defining. Okay. And this has to be unique even if you are creating same resource multiple times. Okay. So okay, let's try to see a plan. Any idea what this time it will give? So it should delete the virtual network, right? Resource group it should not delete because we are using a new block for new resource group creation. So it should say, okay, we have not saved this, right? You can see this black dot. Let's save this and then again run the plan once again. Hope at least you people are following me what I am trying to do here for Terraform.
Yes, Vikas.
Is the problem here? 3 to add is correct. No, it should have like 3 to like 2 to add, 1 to destroy. So somehow we have given this name wrong. Let's see our Terraform state list. Name we are defining somewhere wrong. So what is the name of Azure test? That's what we have defined here, right? Azure test. Maybe we have disrupted something. Force replacement is there for this. That's fine. Okay, let's apply these changes and we'll see how to make like add same resource once again. Okay, by changing the name and all those things we have made some changes there. Let's set Terraform apply. It should not force recreate, but somehow it is creating. So now it will destroy two of them. You can say again it will destroy two and it will add three. If I wanted to see what all it will destroy, you can see destroy, then there is add, there is new resource group which is adding, so there is just plus sign, then there is minus, then plus sign, both, right? So this is like it will first destroy and then it will create same once again. Okay, location has been changed. That's why it is recreating. You can see location has been changed from west US2 to west US. That's why it is force replacement. Okay. If I change location to west US2, it will not recreate it. You find out, right, where is the issue. So we have changed location also. That's why it is force. It is recreating forcefully. So any parameter, be careful to make changes. Okay. Will not apply. We'll say no. Apply cancel. We'll save this, and now it will be like same as we wanted. Okay. So if it is not as expected, please go through these comments. You will able to know what all changes you have made. Okay. Again, if I say plan, it should give us the details, right? Like, okay, three to add and or two to add, one to destroy. No, one to add, zero to change, zero to destroy. That is also fine because this complete virtual network, it is taking details from this resource group. We have added one more block, just this one. That's why it is saying one to add, zero to change, zero to destroy. Is it confusing, or are you people able to like get what, like within small changes it is giving different output to us, right? Yeah.
Yes, because
uh, okay. Yeah, thank you. So no problem. Let's say apply. So yes, here is this new resource group block which we have added. We are getting variable and location from this variable.tf file, right? So this was the purpose for this. Let's say Terraform apply. Okay, say yes, then we will go to, okay, it will get created soon because this is just a resource group. Okay, so resource group created. What is my block name? Resource group one, right? So again, I can check the resource group like Terraform state list, right? You can see now there are three resources, right? If I go to portal again, if I refresh, there has to be one more resource group, my Terraform resource group, which is in West US, correct? This is like to add a resource using a variable in Terraform. So we are not defining anything. Next time, let's say I wanted to deploy something, or you can say I wanted to change this resource group. I can just change this name here, right? Okay. So let's go to again documentation of Terraform, and we'll see. Okay. Okay, there are some way to define the variable in command also. So this is the way hyphen var, and then this way you can define. Okay. So resource group name, we have given something else there, or I can like pass it directly via while applying. Okay, hope it's not required, right? A demo for this, just you can see where and resource the variable which you wanted to update, and then give some name to that variable or value to that variable. Okay, again it was also doing the same thing, to add, to destroy, right? Because we have changed the complete name. You can go in depth of how to define variables, okay, with this one. Okay. Checking if there is. Let's go to next. Define an output is like, again, you can, if you wanted to get some id output of that whatever we created, then there is output options. Same way we are defining a variable, you can say output, then what output you wanted, you have to give the name of that block, and then again value is, again, it will be, you will be calling it from the resource which you have created. So again, it's say, you can see this is calling a resource group block, then resource group name, and then id. So basically this file is giving us output for resource group id. Okay, if you wanted to see this, you can add this to your file and you will get the output. Okay, so we don't have RG, we have to change name, right? What all we have here? Sorry, it's in wrong place. You can keep anywhere, that is fine. If I'm keeping output here and I wanted to see the ID of this resource group or this resource group, what I have to do? I have to copy the block name and replace this block name here, right? Let's save it. Terraform plan. So output is just if you wanted to see any output there, that's the output. Okay, if you apply this, it should give us the output, resource group id, which we already got here. Okay, and then we can use this output somewhere else also. Okay, okay, so that is the output block. And again, let's go to same way, you will get the output source id like this. Okay, let's go to next. Store remote state. What is the remote state? Again, we are going too slow here. So yes, people have to
Uh,
give it. Hmm? Yes, sir, go ahead.
Remote
Something.
state, and I think sending the point from the remote state, it would be the file, state file, which is deployed over the server,
So
either
yes,
than suggested.
anything we are calling remote. So you can see now my state file is here only, right? In same location, right? So if I'm opening this state file, I can see what all resources and all those things is mentioned in JSON file, right? So basically, it's not good practice to store a state file locally, because right now this state file is with me. Let's say tomorrow my colleague, he wanted to make any changes, right? He will not have access to this state file, right? So what we will do, we'll store this state file somewhere in cloud, right? We can store it in, okay, Terraform backend support for Azure. Okay. When I say backend, that is like where you wanted to store your state file. Okay. So you can see there are, like, you can store your state file in a storage account. Okay. In a storage account, blob storage, you can store your state file. Okay. So these are the different way to store it. We will do it how to, like, change this location from like local to state file. We will do that. So when I say remote state, either you store it in your here in this they are saying to store it in Terraform cloud, but we will not doing Terraform. We will be storing it in Azure cloud in a storage account. Okay, so that's what remote state means, storing it in a different location. Okay, so Yeah, I'm going ahead with this state file because we are anyway going too slow here. Okay. Uh, to store a state file, what we need? We need a storage account. Okay. So let's go to portal and create a storage account first. Okay. So these two resource group has been created using Terraform. So we will be not using them. We will be creating a separate resource group. Okay. And we'll give this resource group as name as Terraform state file rg. Okay. Next tag we'll create it. Okay. Yeah, now inside that Terraform state file rg, what I will do, I will create a state file. Sorry, storage account. Okay. So I'll create a resource. I will say storage account. Anyone see storage account here? Okay. I'll say create resource group. I want to create in Terraform test. Storage account name has to be unique. So let's say agtf state file agtf state file. Will it take? Yeah. Now this should take. Okay. We'll keep in the same location. West US, why I'm not getting here? West US. Okay. Rest all we don't want it to do anything. I'm okay with LRS, redundancy, require secure transfer and all those things. I'm fine. Data protection and all those things. I don't want to enable anything. Encryption also, that's fine. So I'm creating an environment, or you can say storage account, where I can store my state file. Okay, nothing much. So again, if you wanted to go through what all different way to define a state file or backend in Terraform, we'll go through that also. Just wait a minute. Okay. So what all we need? We need a storage account which we have already created. Then we need a container in that storage account. Okay. So we have already created a storage account. Okay. Go to resources, add a container to it. We'll add new container, that is Terraform. Okay. And this is, let's say, anonymous read access. Let's say create. Now let's define in new block here called backend block. Okay. So again, this is the example configuration to define a backend. Okay. So you have to give Terraform, then backend, then Azure RM, and you have to give the resource group of your storage account. You have to give a storage account name and the container name. Okay. So this is one way. When authenticating using MSI, you can authenticate to this storage account. Like some authentication is required, right? When you are storing any file in a storage account, how Terraform will know, okay, I have to store here. We have given the details, but how it will get authenticated, you can use MSI, managed service instances, if you want. Okay. Otherwise, you can use Azure AD authentication. Okay. The same way we are authenticating here, Azure AD Active Directory we are using, correct? We are defining the environment variable, service principal ID, service principal password from here, right? Same way we can use them, that is your Azure AD authentication, or you can use storage access key if you wanted to use. You can do this also. Okay. So you can see how to define a access key here. And this block is for that. You can use a SAS token also, or you can use some data source. Okay, let me get some water. Sorry. Just go through this. I will be back in 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Anyone has any question? We got a small break. Okay, let's copy this. Go to your Terraform, add a new file. It's recommended to add backend in backend.tf. So if anyone is saying backend, don't get confused. It is like just for your Terraform state file configuration, right? So what is the resource group name for us where we wanted to store? We can get it from Azure, right? So let's go to overview. This is the resource group name, right? And then we have a storage account name. From where I can get the storage account name? This is my storage account name. Right? Let's copy this. Let's go back. Let's change this. Then what else I have to update? I have to update the state file. Uh, sorry, container name, right? Go to containers. We have created a container called Terraform, right? Copy this name and update here. Okay. Control Z. Then this key is just for the reference purpose. You can give the state file any name. Okay. So this is the name of your state file. You can say the terraform.tf state. So okay, this name will be changed to pro terraform tf state. Okay. So this name you can give as per your convenience. Okay. So you can even maintain multiple state file within same containers. Okay. So that's where it will be helpful. It's the name of the state file. Okay. Then again save this file. Okay, initialization will basically change this state file from local to remote. Okay, so this is currently local. If I say terraform init, what it will do, so you can see, right, when I did this terraform init, it is saying acquiring state log. Right? Do you want the copy existing state to the new backend, right? So existing state is my this one, and new backend is my Azure storage account, right? So it will ask you. You can say yes. Okay. Now my state file is there in storage account. Okay. Can I see that state file? Right now I'm not seeing any file here in this Terraform container. Let's refresh it. You can see the name, right? Prod Terraform TF state. Correct? So we are not doing anything. We are just simply storing my state file remotely. Okay. Where is VS Code here? Okay. We have this here also. So what we can do now? We can go ahead and delete this. This is not required, right? Because we have a file in remotely. So let's delete this too. This is our service principal, that is fine. Now then we have only backend main and variable. It should work, right? Let's see Terraform plan. Okay, so there is no change, correct? Only the output is the change. Object has changed outside Terraform. Okay, there are some changes which has been applied outside. That's what it is saying. There is some tag has been added. Okay, so that's fine. Are you people getting how to store backend in a Azure storage account and what all different ways you have to authenticate this storage account?
Yes, because I'm not getting all the point, but I understand the way you are trying to teach me.
No problem, that's fine. Once you are doing practice, you will able to like do these things, because right now it's I am doing and you are just looking into it, so it is a little bit problematic there. Okay, so that's fine. Uh, happens. Let me say apply. Okay, so we have not done anything. We have just kept the state file. So in Terraform, state file is the most important file. Okay, which has all the details of your configuration. Correct? That you all agree. Based on state
Yes,
file
Vikas.
only, yeah, based on state file only, it will uh, say us what all resources it is adding, what all resources it is deleting. Correct? So that's why we wanted to secure our state file, and Azure storage account is a secure place, right? We can configure access and all other things if we are storing it. Now this is in Azure portal, or you can say Azure storage account. My colleague can also have this code in their local, like I can store this code where I can store this code in GitHub repository or Azure DevOps repository, and we all can clone this code and work, right? So tomorrow onwards, what we will do, we'll update this code in a repository and we will work with repository and a pipeline. Okay. So right now I'm working in local. We'll apply same thing to repository and we will create this using pipeline. We will not create locally like how we are creating here. Okay. So if you people can complete this till here, it will be easy and we will able to understand how, like whatever we have learned, we will club all them together now. Okay, it's not a different piece, it's the same piece. Then like okay, they all are part of same tree but different branches. They are from a different branch, you can say. DevOps is a different branch, again a different branch, but we have to use them in a way so that we are able to create them in a sequence or in a beautiful manner, right? And we can achieve the automation. Yeah, so if you are able to understand the basics of Terraform, okay, those who are having subscription, I can give some tasks to them. You can create, and those don't have any subscription, try to club with someone, try to connect to someone within class. Okay, those who are having subscription, and please try to work with them if you are not getting. Okay, I'm trying to get some subscription. If I get, I will give you ID password, but right now even I don't have any subscription. That's why I have selected here as pay as you go, where I have to pay if I'm creating anything. Okay, so there is some problem in that. We'll see how we can do that. That's a big problem. But yes, for those who are working in companies and they are having their own subscription or any test subscription, please create. Okay, please do create the resources, then you will able to understand more. Okay, we'll stop here. Let me first stop the recording and we'll go to the questions. Okay.